All right, welcome back. Wholesale real estate cold calling. Um, I want to show you how to double your profit with zero extra risk. Okay, wholesale real estate, remember, is the art and the science of finding deeply discounted properties, locking them up with a sales contract to create equitable interest and assigning that right to an end buyer in exchange for an assignment fee, usually $10,000 or more. It's one of the simplest paths to generating real estate cash flow without needing a license, a big team, or even owning a property yourself. Actually, you never have to own a property yourself. So today, of course, in this segment, I want to talk about something that every new wholesaler needs to understand early: how to double your profit without taking on extra risk. Because most people get this wrong. They work harder, they burn more hours, spend more money, and still get the same result. But when you understand where the real risk lives in the business, you know how to avoid it completely and protect your time like gold. So let's get into it. This lesson is key to your success. Let's start with the most popular and most misunderstood strategy in wholesaling: cold calling. Cold calling. When you first start, everyone tells you, the gurus, they tell you, just get on the phone, talk to someone, talk to a person, talk to people, right? Call homeowners, make offers, hustle. And yes, cold calling can work like any other strategy. All strategies work, in my opinion. The question is that will you keep working until it works? But what they don't tell you is that it's expensive, oftentimes, not just in money, by the way, but in time and energy. If you quit, that's obviously very expensive, right? So, see, time is your most valuable currency in business. You can always make money back, right? But you can never make back time. And when you start putting a price tag on your time, when you realize every hour you spend dialing numbers could have been used negotiating contracts or building relationships, you start to see why blind cold calling isn't the smartest play. Okay. In fact, for a lot of people, cold calling is not. Think about it. You're calling hundreds of people, most of whom will never sell, just hoping to catch one, maybe. There's a lot of energy for very little return. Meanwhile, your competitors are using digital marketing, automation to attract leads who already want to sell. Automation to scaling. If you're not automating, you're not scaling. If you're not scaling, you're not really in business. You don't have the capacity. You're gonna get burnt out. Okay. And if you understand automation and scaling, it's not just easier, it's just smarter. So let's talk about digital marketing, especially when paired with the AI tools. This is obvious, this is inevitable now. Let's let's talk about how you're able to reach more sellers who are raising their hand instead of you tapping them. They're say, I please let me get your attention, right? You can target people behind on payments, absentee owners, pre-foreclosures, or list pendings, our favorite here, all filtered through data tools already, like even my empirepro.com/big data. It's one-stop access to every motivated seller segment in your area. Now, I might have just mixed two things together. There's digital marketing, there's probably three things I mixed together: social media marketing, but there's also tools so that you can assess and actually come up with offers like that. Snap of a finger. Those are all AI enabled tools, right? That I've just shared with you. And that's what we call leverage. Leverage. I want you to think leverage when you're thinking the business. Now, let's talk about risk, because doubling your profit isn't about adding pressure, right? It's about removing risk from your process, removing all those small bottlenecks, right, from your process. And risk shows up in two ways. It can show up in the form of financial risk or reputational risk. Financial risk is easy to understand. Okay. If you're spending money on marketing that doesn't work, because you will spend money regardless, right? Or probably more than money, time on processes that doesn't work, right? If you spend hours cold calling and burn out, you lose opportunities. That's a big risk. Now let's talk about reputational risk. That one is a little bit sneaky, right? As more states in the United States tighten up laws around unsolicited calls, the do not call list, and telemarketing restrictions are getting stricter by every month, every single day. One wrong call to the wrong person, and you call the wrong person, you could be looking at fines or legal headaches you don't want. I've seen it before. It's not what you want. So, digital marketing helps you avoid all of that. You're not evading people's space, you're creating space for the right people to come to you. Okay. It's inbound marketing. When someone fills out your form, they click an ad or something like that, they pick up the phone, they call you or messages you, they're inviting you into their process. That's permission-based marketing. We call it inbound marketing as opposed to outbound marketing. It's safer, it's smarter, and of course, way more scalable, right? Why? Because of automation, especially in this time and age. Now, does that mean you should never call people? Not at all, right? It just means that by the time you do call, they should already know who you are. You're not cold calling anymore. You're not cold anymore. You're warm. They've seen your name, your brand, maybe your content, and they already associate you with real estate help. That's a lead. You're jumping the hoop all the way from data through contact all the way to leads. Okay, so that's 3 of those 5 stages taken care of already. That's how you shift from chasing to attracting. Attraction marketing is still a big deal. In fact, it's going to become more and more popular. Now, here's another zero risk profit booster: partnership. Partnership is free leverage. It costs nothing, but it multiplies your results. It just makes sense, right? So when the ROI on partnership is literally infinity, right? When you partner with another wholesaler, you combine list, buyers, experience, resources. Maybe you've got deals and they've got buyers, or they've got data and you've got hustle. When you joint venture JV with other people, both sides win without doubling expenses. And I've built long-term partnerships that still pay me years later. So it doesn't have to. It doesn't cost you a dime up front. It's just a principle that works all the time. It's called leverage. It's part of the pillars of leverage I shared with you earlier. You can join forces with other investors and even partner directly with me. You can partner with me at myempirepro.com/partners. I seem surprised there, right? No, not really. I've been talking about this. We can partner. If you have certain resources, we bring our resources together, we do deals together. And that's one of the fastest way to grow safely. You're learning, but you're growing safely, leveraging other people's systems and experience instead of reinventing the wheel. Have you ever heard of the term other people's money? Yes, there's also other people's system, other people's time, other people's skills, right? And let me tell you a quick story before I round this up. My very first deal, the one that took me 6 months to land, yeah, that one. That deal taught me a lesson about risk that I will never forget. I will continue to share it. I was about to make $20,000 in assignment profit. Actually, it was more like an option contract. Everything looked good. The contract was solid. The buyer was lined up, and we were heading to closing, right? But because it was an assignment and not a double closing, the seller saw my profit on the statement, on the settlement statement. He didn't like that. At the last minute, he refused to sign unless I split my profit with him. I ended up, should I call it losing $10,000 that day. Well, it was money I was about to make, right? Was it legal? Sure. Was it fair? Not really, but it's all fair in love and war. But I learned something invaluable. Transparency is good, but structure is better, right? That's when I discovered the double closing hack. So I want you to think about double closing. Whenever you think about doubling profit, think about double closing hack. Instead of assigning your contract, okay, the strategy that's best is you can close on it with a transactional fund, which can come from your buyers. There's resources for transactional funding around a short-term funder, a person that's going to make a quick 1 to 2% on their money for lending it out to you for just a few minutes, 5 minutes. Would you do that all day long? Would you give me $100,000 if you had it and you could make $2,000 extra and I'll get you back the money in 5 minutes? The answer is yes and yes and yes. And then you sell You sell the property to an end buyer. Everybody is happy in a separate closing, a separate transaction. The two sides never see each other's numbers, right? Everyone walks away happy, and your profit is fully protected. Zero risk. I promised you zero risk. That's zero risk. No uncomfortable conversations. How are you making this kind of money? No last minute renegotiations. Just smooth, clean transactions. Everything is registered. Everything shows. Everybody's happy. So if there's room in the deal, go with double closing. Okay. It protects you, the seller, the buyer. It's more professional too, and more private, and often much more profitable. So you see how that works? You're not adding any risk, you're removing it. Okay. And when you combine that with partnerships and digital marketing, you start creating a business that runs efficiently and safely. So that's how you double your profit without any additional or harder work or risk or anything like that. You're not grinding. You understand how business works. You're guiding a deal. You're not risking more. You're managing better. Okay. So now the beauty of wholesale real estate is that it rewards efficiency. When you value your time, protect your systems, and focus on smarter leverage, your business grows on almost on autopilot. Okay. Now remember this very quickly. Cold calling might look cheaper. Okay. Cold calling is not easier, it's not cheaper, it's actually much more expensive in time, especially in time. Partnerships cost nothing but can multiply your deals. Double closing keeps your profits secure, right? And it's a hack. It's a form of leverage. It doubles your profit too. And digital marketing lets you reach more people without breaking any laws or your sanity. I will tell you another story, but maybe another video. That's how you scale safely and faster. So if you're just starting out, starting out, and you're looking to level up, start protecting your time and simplifying your business. Plug into systems that work, focus on relationships that compound, and always play the long game. Okay. Now, in our next segment, we'll talk about how to do even more with less, specifically how to close deals faster and more consistently, even if you're starting with no money at all. Okay, I'll be right back. This is Ola, my Empire Pro, your favorite real estate coach. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your Empire starts today. I've written 3 game-changing books. Download them free at myempirepro.com/books. I'm also looking for partners, money, time, or anywhere in between. If that's you, visit myempirepro.com/partners. And if you want to try the all-in-one PropStream software for free, go to myempirepro.com/PropStream. Stay tuned. Let's build your $10,000 per month real estate empire.